everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to have everyone here with us for our Wellness with Wilkes event. My name is Nicole Pizzino. I am faculty here at Wilkes University. We are going to all go around and introduce ourselves. If you are on the phone or if you're not showing your camera yet, totally fine. If you want to unmute and introduce yourself to us, we would love to meet you. So like I said, my name is Nicole Pizzino. I am faculty here, and our icebreaker today is one good or positive thing that's happened over the past week. Could be small, could be big. Mine is simply that both my kids slept through the night last night and slept until 7 a.m. So I got a really good night's sleep, and 7 a.m., you asked me in college, was not late, but it is late now. So Christina, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Christina. I'm a second-year pharmacy student. I'm really excited to be here. So my positive thing that's happened recently is that now it started to be December, so I'm really excited to be jamming out to some Christian music. Now I'll turn it over to Taylor.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor. I'm a senior at Wilkes majoring in psychology. I'm PsyCard president as well. And also one exciting thing is that someone has given me their MCAT book so I can begin studying, which is really amazing and thoughtful of them.
Hi, my name is Laura. I am a second-year pharmacy student here at Wilkes. I'm really excited to start my morning off with you. And one exciting thing that's happened to me in the past week is that I got to meet my niece Tegan.
I'm Tim. I'm also a second-year pharmacy student. And something exciting that happened to me this week is that after a week of waiting, I finally got to watch the Steelers play.
Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin. I'm a junior psychology major and a member of PsyChi. I'm really excited to be here today and share all of our information with you. And something good that happened to me was being able to spend Thanksgiving dinner with my immediate family and spend the day Zooming and playing games online with my aunts and uncles and cousins.
Hi, I'm Dustin. I'm a P2 pharmacy student. Something I'm really excited about is I'm on my final alignment of Invisalign, so I've only got 2 weeks left to go with that. I can't wait for it to be over. So now we're gonna.
We do have someone on the line, and then we've got Dr. Thomas on. Dr. Thomas, would you like to introduce yourself or just unmute yourself and say hi to everyone?
Hi, good morning. I'm just observing. You want me to say something positive?
Yes, we're doing. Everyone who's on the call will share their introduction and something positive or good that's happened over the past week.
Sure. So good morning. I'm Dr. Thomas. I am a faculty member in the psychology department, and I am the faculty advisor to PsyChi. And Dr. Zeno invited us to join, so to help you guys. So thank you. Something positive that happened. Well, my elementary age children are in virtual school. You might be able to hear them in the background. And it's going better than I expected. So that's a really nice thing. So
I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning everyone. So we're going to be starting off with a question. So when you hear the word mental health, what do you think of? You can either send it in the chat or unmute yourself, and that goes the same for any questions you have throughout the presentation. Okay, so we define mental health as a person's condition in regard to their psychological and emotional well-being. So that could involve any changes in emotion or thinking or their behavior or any combination thereof. So some of the topics we're going to be going over today are some background information, mental health in the older population, mental health and COVID-19's impact on it, what to expect, coping strategies, and some helpful resources. So we wanted to start with some background information on mental health. So 1 in 5 older adults experience mental health concerns that just aren't a normal part of aging. These most commonly over the age of 65 are dementia, anxiety, and depression. In most cases, these mental health issues respond really well to treatment, but unfortunately, we often lose too many adults to their mental health conditions. And as you can see, this leads to this demographic having the highest suicide rate in the country. So, good mental health um, contributes to your overall feelings of well being. Research actually shows that poor mental health can slow the physical healing process. Personally, I've heard that the saying that if you're physically ill, you can still feel well mentally, but if you're feeling mentally unwell, your body won't feel well regardless. So, that's just something I've always heard and kept in mind. If undiagnosed or untreated, mental illness can cause serious implications with adults over 65, such as diminished function, substance abuse, poor quality of life, or an increase in mortality. So there's a lot of changes that occur in this older population. Some experience changes in living situations, their body chemistry, family relations, and friendships. And they're also on more medications that could potentially have side effects that impact mood or behavior. So those are always things to keep in mind when considering your mental health and any treatment that might be necessary.
Next up, we have prevalence. Mental health is more prevalent among elderly compared to younger adults by 15 to 20%. Therefore, it is important that if you feel any mental health decline, you should reach out to your director for getting connected to a healthcare provider. The first step to preventing this is to become aware of the potential risks in your age range and to detect these issues to seek out help before they progress. Mental illness impacts life by increasing disability, reducing quality of life, reducing overall health, and leading to a higher mortality rate. The demand for mental health assistance is high, and the supply of psychologists available is decreasing at less than 1,800 in the US. About 80% of elders in need of mental health services are not obtaining it, and about 3 million elders receive inadequate health care or none altogether. The problem is that many are suffering from mental impairments that are potentially treatable and reversible. So next up is COVID-19's effect on mental health. As stated by the CDC, those most at risk for COVID-19 are those with underlying health conditions. The best way to prevent the spread of the virus was to reduce interaction with others and practice social isolation and distancing. Sadly, however, those most at risk for coronavirus are also subject to the harmful effects of social isolation. A study conducted by Elman and Sommer found that elders are more than 2 times likely to feel lonelier due to the distancing compared to others, 37% compared to 15%. Loneliness may lead to cognitive impairment and dementia. This means typical aging factors are increased by social distancing. And another study conducted by the Commonwealth Fund also linked social isolation to heart disease, anxiety, and depression. The study also demonstrates the importance of preventing negative mental and physical impairments linked to COVID-19 social distancing requirement. To help mitigate these effects, it is important to increase virtual interactions. It is important to stay in touch with family and friends in some shape or form, even if it cannot physically be in person. Also, there are online psychiatrists available for counseling and promoting healthy emotions. Lastly, the study found that exercising is preventative of mental health decline stemming from the isolation. Daily exercise will promote a positive mindset. Some possible activities you could practice are yoga, light cardio, just to keep your body moving. Also, it's important to keep challenging your mind and exercising that too. You can do this by playing brain games, reading, solving puzzles, and online learning. Practicing a well-balanced eat and sleep schedule keeps the mind in peak condition as well.
What to expect during these times. So it is very important to understand and learn the possible symptoms of mental health illnesses and stress so that you can identify them if they occur. In addition, it is crucial that you pay attention to what your body is telling you so that you can therefore prevent and treat the underlying issues as soon as possible. Everyone who suffers from stress or a mental illness does not experience the same signs and symptoms as others may. These symptoms depend on various factors, including the type and severity of the disorder at hand, as well as individual differences. This non-exhaustive list of symptoms of a mental illness and stress shows that they can influence one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. So mental health can greatly impact one's physical health and vice versa. For example, what's shown on the list, chronic stress can create long-term issues for your body, which can include hypertension, which is also high blood pressure, memory loss, as well as higher risks of developing diseases like heart disease, Alzheimer's, depression, asthma, and gastrointestinal problems or stomach issues. Some short-term effects of stress and mental health challenges may include problems sleeping, loss of motivation, concentration or focus, and low energy. So knowing more about what mental health disorders entails and being more aware of the challenges associated with stress in your life can help you recognize what you are feeling so that you can therefore manage it in constructive ways. So on the next slide that we will go to, we have talked about various disorders that can occur in response to these stressful times that we're dealing with now. However, it's most important to learn the ways to prevent or improve them. So I'm going to ask you now, what are some ways that you try to improve your wellness, whether that be physical or mental wellness? We will now discuss a variety of ways to improve your overall health. I suggest writing some of these down so that you can have them for a needed time in the future to reference back to.
So on that note, we're moving into the more positive and solution aspects of our presentation. This is a brief overview of the coping and wellness strategies we looked into. I'll give a brief overview now, and then we can go into each one into more detail. So the first thing we can do is just to be honest with ourselves. Physical and mental health go hand in hand, so taking stock and monitoring your daily health behaviors is very important. Having goals, being in control by using self-care. During times of uncertainty, you need to focus on things that you can control so you can stay grounded. Better self-care can lead to a stronger immune system and can help you be a better service to yourself and others. Being aware of your stress, being observant of your anxiety levels, and always trying to find the time to take a deep breath. Embracing your emotions. In today's world, anxiety, stress, fear, sadness are very common and not something that you should let overtake you. If you're experiencing these emotions, you can take the time to acknowledge that it's both normal and temporary. Setting a timer and limiting your access to the news. Nowadays, the news is filled with disease monitoring and death counts that can be very anxiety provoking. While staying informed is important, limiting news and screen time can support stress management and mental health. Staying connected. Staying socially connected while physically distancing. I know it's been difficult since COVID started and no in-person visitors were allowed, but it's important to remain as socially connected as you can during this time. Keeping your mind occupied. It's important to exercise your mind with daily cognitive tasks or other relaxing activities that can help you keep your mind busy. And lastly, finding the positive. Right now, it might be difficult to see the positives of life. Therefore, it's important to take the time each day to reflect on something that you're grateful for, like we did in the beginning of the presentation. So the first thing we can do is looking at being honest with ourselves and setting goals. Mental health goes hand in hand with physical health, so it's extremely important that during these difficult times to make sure you're treating your body kindly to feel the best you can mentally and physically. Setting SMART goals for yourself is one of the best ways to get yourself through unprecedented times. You want goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, or SMART for short. And some examples of SMART goals are listed below. The first thing we can look at is sleep. You can do so by paying attention to your sleep habits, trying to get 8 hours of sleep, and consistently going to bed at the same time every night. Allowing your body to truly rest refuels your mind and will allow you to better focus and achieve your goals. We can also look at routine. Now that we're spending a lot of the time at home, it's important to keep following a routine and setting goals. This can prevent developing a lack of motivation or depression. Just doing things like waking up early, eating breakfast, taking medication, or just achieving any small tasks, because it's more than okay to start small. For me personally, when this all first started and school was online, I found it a lot easier to just stay in bed on my computer all day, but that became very dreary and boring. So by setting small goals, such as just getting dressed, even though I wasn't seeing anyone, can help make these routine-like steps will allow you to stay motivated during these unmotivational times. And lastly, looking at nutrition and diet. In order for us to achieve any goals, we need fuel for our body. Eating healthy and consistent meals gives our mind and body energy to keep us going, and a lack of food can negatively impact our concentration, motivation, or increase the risk of illnesses. It may be tempting to sit around and snack when you're home with nothing to do, but planning your meals ahead of time to make sure you're eating the correct amount of food nutrition-wise can be very beneficial.
Now I will be talking about being aware of your stress and embracing or identifying your emotions. When you are stressed, it is crucial that you do not ignore it, rather you acknowledge those stressors and emotions. It is okay to feel mad or sad or anxious, but you have to acknowledge those emotions, and that will allow you to validate how you are feeling so that you can manage it by exercises, which we'll discuss later in this presentation. Once a day, you should take a few minutes to acknowledge how you are feeling to treat or manage those feelings after. This could be just sitting in silence and reflecting on yourself, or even taking out a journal and writing these feelings and emotions down. Negative emotions can be managed by mental exercises or activities, or talking to loved ones or professionals about it. I know I personally, when I get stressed out in school or just life in general, I will call up my brother or my sister and just talk to them and like calm myself down, and they'll like bring me down to earth. So I suggest doing that, or even doing the mental exercises that I said we'll discuss later. Additionally, it is just as important to realize what is causing those negative emotions so that you could take those negative aspects out of your life or modify your routine. One of those negative aspects that you could take or reduce out of your life would be limiting your access to the news. Especially this year, there are a lot of stressful things going on in our world. Constantly watching the news that tends to only show negative or stressful topics will add to your stressors. Taking time away from these negative sources will allow you to live in the present and focus on bettering yourself, as it is not healthy to stress over things we cannot change. To have a healthy mindset, you must not surround yourself with negative information. I personally, at nighttime when I'm like watching the news, I'll only limit myself to like 1 hour, and then I'll change it to something I enjoy, like watching game shows. I personally prefer Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy, but it is up to you on a show that you like and enjoy that doesn't have any negative aspects to it.
So as Christina mentioned, there's a few different kinds of exercises you can do to occupy your mind and to stay positive. These include mental exercises like yoga, meditation, crossword puzzles, and word searches. These help your mind stay active and help you stay mentally young. There's also relaxing mental tasks like drawing, coloring, and knitting. These help you stay relaxed while also keeping your mind sharp. So it's a win-win right there. And then physical exercises not only help your brain remain strong, but also help your brain stay healthy, your body stay healthy. Some of these include light cardio and walks. Light cardio includes jumping jacks, doing laps around your room, or even some light dancing if you feel like it. But it's always important to make sure that you stretch first so that you don't end up hurting your muscles. This related to staying positive, there was a study done in Japan that looked at diabetes patients. If you don't know, diabetes patients have to look at their blood sugar regularly in order to make sure they don't get sick. They had diabetes patients watch either a funny stand-up comedy show or a boring lecture, and then they check their blood sugar afterwards. And the people who watched the comedy special had a lower blood sugar, which is better than the people who watched the boring lecture. So you can imagine that if staying positive can physically alter how your body responds, you can only imagine the benefits that it has for your mental health. And then finally, you're going to want to make sure you stay connected. Reading is an amazing tool that you can do to stay connected to the world around you. I know we mentioned not watching the news, but on the other hand, actually reading the articles that the news comes from can help you stay connected to the world and form your own conclusions on what's going on. In addition, I know personally that reading books helps me cope with the world around me. I know if it gets stressful or worrying, I can just get in my bed and read a good book and it'll make everything feel better. And finally, finding a journal and a topic that interests you can really help you out. In addition, you're going to want to stay social with other people. I know you're supposed to stay socially distant and isolate from other people, but there are ways to stay connected without potentially being in some kind of danger. For example, staying on social media like Facebook is a great way to stay connected to your family and your friends. I know personally that's how I stay connected to people I went to high school with and my family members I don't get to see much. And in addition, face-to-face call services like FaceTime, Skype, and Zoom help you stay connected to people and make you feel like you're actually talking to them, even though you have to stay apart from them. And in addition, email, texting, or just regular old mail can help you stay in contact with the people you care about. And then here are all of our sources. What questions do you have for us?